It can be difficult to bring the necessary charisma, style, nerve, and talent each week. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 worst outfits from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Who else has been carb-free for 2 weeks?
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we've selected some of the least successful runway looks from the first 8 seasons of this reality competition series, as well as the first 2 seasons of the All-Stars edition.
She's got goggles up there.
Apparently she's going skiing. Oh, I hate when drag queens have bigger boobs than me.
Number 10. Country Realness. Mystique Summers Madison.
Mystique is pretty. Everybody loves Mystique.
That may be true, but that doesn't make this country look any more, well, country. Between the over-the-top makeup and the basic shirt-pants combo that looks like it could have been bought at Wet Seal, it completely misses the mark on the Country Realness challenge. More reminiscent of a soccer mom with middling fashion sense and a bit too much eyeshadow than anything else. Not to mention, Mystique made the fatal error of wearing the same top on the runway and in the challenge. The look landed her in the bottom, where she proved no match for the now legendary second season runner-up Raven, who sent her sashaying away.
Now sashay away.
Number 9. Roller Girl. Cynthia Lee Fontaine.
Cynthia Lee Fontaine.
She's a little bit country.
It's Barbara Mandrell on wheels.
Cynthia Lee Fontaine may have the shortest run of any Miss Congeniality winner, but sadly, this outfit simply did not match the fierceness of her charming personality. A confusing mashup of an elegant top with a country-inspired bottom half and hat resulted in an ill-fitting mess. An admirable but ultimately unsuccessful attempt to try something new by the hot-blooded Puerto Rican. In the end, it was a bit of an assault on the eyes. Though Cynthia lip-synced for her life, she was no match for Robbie Turner's rollerblading skills, which ultimately sent her packing.
Keep spreading your cuckoo. Now, sashay away.
Hopefully, she was able to take solace in the golden trophy the fans later awarded her.
Cynthia Lee Fontaine!
Number 8. Sheet Caftan. Honey Mahogany.
What is with you and the caftan collection? Why don't we get to see your figure?
Only 2 times in the history of the series has a lip sync resulted in a double elimination. And one half of the very first can be attributed to Honey Mahogany's third and final loose-fitting caftan to be torn apart by the judges. Though the previous attempts were elegant enough to keep her out of the bottom, the third strike more resembled a sparkly bedsheet tied together with a belt than an actual outfit. Coupled with an equally gaudy wig, there's no point of focus, so the only option is to take the entire jumble in one unsavory gulp. At least she was able to prove her range come finale time.
And I have a little something I'd like to show you.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Number 7. Gone with the Window. Shangela Laquifa Wadley.
The debutantess of the Deep South.
Shangela may now be one of the most recognizable names to come out of RuPaul's Drag Race, but her first impression on the show was memorable for all the wrong reasons. Tasked with creating a runway look out of window curtains, the admittedly burgeoning queen made a dress more reminiscent of cornstalks than couture, and was criticized by the judges for its overabundance of accessories, design, and failure to be form-fitting.
Your bust line is non-existent. There's no waist definition there.
Luckily for all of us, she was given the chance to return in season 3 to show us what she's really made of, and show us she did. Number 6. Dead Chicken? Kennedy Davenport.
LaGuardia, Newark, Kennedy, Davenport. Kennedy Fried Chicken.
Is she a chicken or a horse?
Kennedy Davenport was lucky that her team managed to not be on the bottom the week she chose to wear this number. She took to the runway, the theme of which was Death Becomes Her, in a bizarre orange jumpsuit adorned with feathers and what looks like coagulated blood. In Untucked, she explained that the story behind it is that a pimp gutted a hooker and burned her alive, but instead of dying, she crystallized? They say a joke is no good if it has to be explained, and here, apparently, the same could be said for a high-concept outfit.
But you know, I didn't die.
Okay.
I had crystallized.
Oh.
And now I'm a glamazon bitch ready for the runway.
Number 5. Cowardly Lion. Robbie Turner.
Serving Cowardly Lion Couture, Robbie and Hedda Turner. Nobody mentioned Cecil.
Robbie Turner may have been able to out-lip-sync Cynthia, but her fate was sealed with this Wizard of Oz themed challenge. Robbie was assigned to create not 1, but 2 looks based on the Cowardly Lion.
This looks like just a bunch of ruched up fabric stuck. And we have to work on that hairline.
It was already an uphill battle, since Kim Chi had previously created an instantly iconic lion look earlier that same season. Robbie's offering was really nothing more than some poorly fitting fabric with a wig and some fur thrown on. None of these elements look good on their own, but together with a messy wig/crown combo, it made for a completely disjointed look that resulted in the Seattle Queen's elimination.
Thank you guys so much. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. Mwah. Good morning.
Number 4. Garbage Couture. Serena Chacha.
Oh, does that mean you guys were rooting for me?
Poor Serena Chacha. She was only able to serve up 2 looks during her brief tenure on Drag Race, and both were seriously considered for this list. The challenge was to turn garbage into couture, and Serena didn't entirely finish the transformation. We're honestly not entirely sure how she was able to escape elimination with this abysmal outfit. From the lack of creativity to the shoddy execution, there's little room to defend this offering. However, we have to cut her some slack for being the season's youngest queen. She clearly learned from her time on the show and has since developed her aesthetic. Number 3. Apocalypse Couture. Jiggly Caliente. Jiggly Caliente's run certainly got off to an explosive start, though not in a good way. The first challenge was to create an apocalyptic look based on materials gathered from garbage, and for Jiggly, it unfortunately shows.
All right, listen, I'm gonna let you get back to work.
Yes, mama.
Appearing as though she threw everything she could get her hands on into the outfit, the final product was an amalgamation of mismatched colors and material. It seemed she was destined to be the first elimination. However, Jiggly's bubbly personality allowed her to overcome her initial misstep and find a decent ranking among the queens of season 4.
I have to pull out every trick. If I have to shoot ping pongs out of my ass, I will do it.
Number 2. Drag on a Dime. Naysha Lopez.
Hola! The beauty is here.
To be fair, Naysha was the first to admit that she was an amateur designer, a skill level which wasn't helped by the fact that her task involved making her dress out of pieces of garbage.
This is actually the first garment I've ever made. I don't really sew. I felt like it was wearable and you know, I got the challenge down.
With an unflattering shape and a baffling color combination of green and gold, the finished look was less garbage-inspired glamour and more nauseating. The garbage theme was apparent from the end result, as was the lack of design experience. Unsurprisingly, RuPaul decided to give her the boot, though she would later return to the show with a brief stint of 2 episodes.
I'm sorry that I wasn't able to show you everything that I had to offer. Thank you, Ru, for this opportunity.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Rainbow Bright.
I'm featuring my arms. I try not to carry over 5 pounds, so I'm very proud to have the petite arms that I have.
She forgot to shave.
Janice Combs.
I'm giving fish, I'm giving face, I'm giving you Vogue. I know my runway is fierce.
Look at those legs, my goodness. And they go all the way up.
They do? Are you sure?
Girl, please, I'm taking selfie to a whole nother level. Paparazzi who? Oh, I see why you love me, darling.
That is amazing.
Number 1. Bacon. Kelly Mantle.
Christine Baranski's in the house.
For Kelly Mantle, a well-intentioned use of flower fabric went terribly wrong in the 6th season premiere. In an attempt to make a look inspired by Downton Abbey, she presented an outfit that, while unremarkable at first glance, was critiqued for having a top piece looking more like bacon than flower petals.
What is it?
They're flower petals.
I'm still getting bacon.
And once that was pointed out, there was no way not to see uncooked breakfast meat across her chest. Despite being remembered mostly for the unfortunate-looking outfit, Kelly has shown she's able to laugh at her mistakes in hindsight, which makes a winner, at least when it comes to attitude.
You know what surprised me the most was that the judges weren't hungry for my bacon. I mean, what, is everyone a vegan nowadays in LA? Gee.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.